Good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about fractions of a group. So far we've basically talked about fractions of an area, like the area of this rectangle that you see on the board. So let's talk about how we found a fraction of an area of this rectangle. Let's talk about the fraction, if I wanted to find the fraction 1/4 for this 1/4. I want to show what 1/4 of that rectangle looks like. Well, just as we've done before, we would need to divide our rectangle into four equal groups. So I'm going to do that now. And that's pretty close to 4 equal groups. So our denominator tells us how many equal pieces, parts, or groups. In this case, it's equal parts. So I have 4 equal groups. And the numerator tells us what or how many pieces of the 4 that I'm interested in. In this case, I'm interested in 1 out of the 4. So we know that this is 1/4. So now, taking that what we know, let's talk about when we don't have just an area, but let's say a group of things, like you see these soccer players on the board. So if I wanted to find 1/4 of the soccer players up here, I'm still going to go through that same process. Yes, we don't have an area, but I'm still looking at my denominator and numerator to guide me along the way. So, in this case, I need to make 4 equal groups with the players, because this is my whole team. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players on this team. So I need to separate them into 4 equal groups. So think about that for a second. How many players would I need to put in each group so that I end up with 4 equal groups? Well, if you said 2, you're right. So if I put 2, and we can see I have 4 equal groups. There's a group, there's a group, there's a group, and there's a group. So there are my 4 equal groups. So I have divided the team into 4 equal parts or groups. And I'm interested in this case, one of those groups. So I'm interested in one So I'm interested in one of those 4 groups. And in one of those groups, I have 2 players. So 1/4 of my team is 2 players. All right, let's go to another example. This is my basketball team. If I said that 3/4 of my basketball team scored how many players scored. So here's my basketball team. I said that 3/4 of my basketball team scored. How many players scored then? Again, I have to look at my fraction. I know that I'm dealing with 3/4. So first I have to look at my denominator of how many equal groups I need to make with my team. So I need to take my players and put them into 4 equal groups. Well, I need to find out what my total team, how many players are on my team. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 players that I need to put in 4 equal groups. So how many would end up in each group? So I need to make 4 equal groups. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my just 1, 2, 3, 4 equal groups. So I know 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'm going to put 3 players in each group. And I do have, you can see, I have 4 equal groups because each group has 3 players in it. So now, to go back to the question, we were looking for 3/4. I've divided my team into 4 equal groups. But now the key is, how many of those groups am I interested in? I am interested in 3 of those groups scored. I'm interested in 3. So if I take those 3, and here are, I'm outlining in green here, those are 3 out of the 4 groups. So I would need to count all the players that are in those 3 groups. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So therefore, how many players scored? If 3/4, 9 players scored. Right? And last one that I would like for you to take a look at, and I want you to try to solve, and then I'll go through the solution with you. So pause it right here, read the question carefully, see if you can solve it. All right, let's take a look. We know that there are 12 marbles on the floor. Lisa picked up 1/2 of the 12 marbles. So let's first go through that. Okay, so Lisa picked up 1/2. So we need to divide this into 2 equal groups. So if I put 12 marbles into 2 equal groups, I would have 6 marbles in this group and 6 marbles in this group. And I'm interested in 1 of those groups, so Lisa picked up 6 marbles. Now let's do Tom. Tom, he picked up 1/4 of the 12 marbles. So again, I'm not doing half, so he divided the marbles into 4 equal groups. And if we take 12 and divide it by 4, we would end up with 3 marbles in each group, which gives us the 12 marbles. He picked up 1/4 we have our 4 equal groups, and he was interested in only one of them. So he picked up 3 marbles. So, the question, how many marbles were picked up? Well, Lisa picked up 6 marbles. Tom picked up 3 marbles. So 6 marbles plus 3 marbles equals 9 marbles were picked up. So, what fraction of the 12 marbles was picked up? So, if 9 were picked up, so here we go with 9. So there's 3 there, 3, 6, 9. So this amount was picked up. So we can see these, each one is a fourth of the 12 marbles. So this is 1/4, this is 1/4, this is 1/4. So the total number of marbles that were picked up was 3/4. All right, if you have any questions, jot those down, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Have a great evening.